A frog agrees to carry a scorpion across a treacherous river. Halfway across, the scorpion strikes, dooming them both to drown. As they sink, the frog asks why, and the scorpion simply replies, "Because it is my nature." This is the scorpion effect. It is the biological reality behind the old idiom of cutting off your nose to spite your face. When we are wronged, the retaliatory impulse feels like a pursuit of justice. In reality, our biology is prioritizing a short-term emotional urge over our own long-term survival. Our ancient survival instincts have misfired, creating a biological glitch where the drive to protect ourselves actually turns inward. This self-sabotage begins in the vengeance circuit. The moment you feel humiliated, an alarm bell rings in the brain, demanding a response. The simple anticipation of getting even triggers a sharp dopamine spike in the brain's reward center. This dopamine craving drives a misguided attempt to transform shame or helplessness into a temporary sense of power. By following this neurochemical reward, we walk directly into a trap of our own design. This psychological urge exerts a heavy physical toll on the body. When you obsess over a grudge, the brain loses the ability to distinguish between a past memory and an active present threat. The body enters a perpetual fight-or-flight state, keeping the amygdala on high alert. This system misfires, flooding your bloodstream with stress hormones to prepare for a physical battle that never happens. Because the body is fighting a ghost, you are exhausting your own defensive resources for a war that exists only in your head. The primary hormone in this cycle is cortisol. When chronically elevated, it functions like a corrosive agent within your system. This chemical flood physically blocks the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain responsible for logic and complex reasoning. This chart shows the mechanical result, a sharp rise in blood pressure that correlates with the drop in logic, leaving the immune system compromised. It confirms the psychological reality that holding a grudge is the equivalent of drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. While you spend energy plotting to destroy an enemy, your own biology is the only thing actually being destroyed. How do we override this biological hijacking and stop the vengeance loop? The most effective override is a state of strategic indifference. Using cognitive reframing, you can recognize that letting go is an act of self-preservation. It is the only way to pull the plug on the cortisol flood. Writing down the grievance is a practical tactic for this reframing. It allows you to move the thought out of your working memory and onto the page, creating the distance needed to regain control. Forgiveness functions like the tactical liquidation of a toxic asset, an essential step to stop your own emotional bankruptcy. Real victory requires a shift in focus. Research suggests that direct retaliation keeps you tethered to the person who hurt you, prolonging the biological damage. By rechanneling that retaliatory energy into your own personal goals, you break that tether. You utilize the biological thirst for action without the cortisol penalty of active rumination. This state of detachment protects your inner peace. When you no longer react to the provocation, the storm rages harmlessly around you. Let's test your current stress levels. Does your heart rate increase just thinking about someone who wronged you? Put a yes or no in the comments. Try the 7-day peace protocol. The next time you are provoked, tell yourself, "I don't have the energy for this." If you choose to stop the cycle, type immune in the comments. Don't be the scorpion. Choose the path of indifference and subscribe to see how else your biology